What if a comet could vanish right before our eyes? Imagine looking up at the sky, expecting a cosmic show, only to see nothing. Is the Halloween comet really going to be a celestial treat, or are we about to witness something much stranger? The comet C/2024 S1, also known as Atlas, was discovered just weeks ago and was initially thought to be a dazzling display for the end of October. Some even believed it might be visible during the day. But now, astronomers are warning that this comet might not even survive its close encounter with the Sun. Think about it, a comet racing toward the Sun, its icy core burning up, potentially leaving nothing but a faint trail. Could it be that we're about to witness the death of a comet, a headless ghost in the sky? Keep watching, because what happens next could be a trick or a cosmic trickster's last surprise. Discovered in late September 2024 by the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, ATLAS, in Hawaii, Comet C/2024 S1 quickly sparked excitement among astronomers. It was initially thought that this comet, a member of the Kreutz family of sun-grazing comets, could become a stunning visual event. Kreutz comets are famous for passing extremely close to the Sun, sometimes resulting in some of the brightest and most spectacular comets in history. But what makes these sun-grazing comets so unique? They follow orbits that bring them dangerously close to the Sun's surface, sometimes within just a few 100,000 miles. This incredible proximity exposes them to temperatures exceeding 1,000,000 degrees Fahrenheit and immense gravitational forces. These factors make survival highly unlikely. Most comets that graze the Sun end up disintegrating, with their icy bodies breaking apart and evaporating as they approach the searing heat of the solar corona. Comet Atlas is no exception. Initially, there was hope it would follow in the footsteps of other spectacular Kreutz comets, like the Great Comet of 1843 or Comet Lovejoy in 2011, which brightened dramatically and left long, vivid tails stretching across the sky. However, as Atlas raced toward the Sun, the excitement began to fade. Astronomers soon noticed that the comet wasn't brightening as expected. In fact, its slow increase in brightness hinted that it might already be falling apart. Instead of the sharp, glowing head and long, bright tail typical of a comet in full display, Atlas appeared more like a faint smudge in the sky. This lack of brightness was the first sign that its icy core could be crumbling under the Sun's intense heat and gravity. While most comets become dramatically brighter as they near the Sun, Atlas seemed to be dimming, a telltale sign that it might be breaking apart before it can put on any kind of celestial show. This behavior makes Atlas particularly interesting and frustrating for skywatchers. Sun-grazing comets can be unpredictable, and their fates often hang in the balance until the very last moment. The question now is whether Atlas will survive its closest approach to the Sun, coming within just 341,000 miles of the solar surface, or if it will disintegrate completely, leaving behind only a faint, ghostly trail. As Comet Atlas races closer to the Sun, the tension builds. Will it survive, or are we about to witness its complete disintegration? Despite early hopes, the signs are not good. Normally, as a comet approaches the Sun, its icy body heats up, releasing gas and dust, which creates the bright, glowing head and long tail that we associate with these celestial visitors. But Atlas has been behaving differently. Instead of rapidly brightening as it gets closer to the Sun, Atlas has remained faint. Some astronomers have even reported that it has started to fade in recent days, a clear sign that its icy core is breaking apart. For a comet to survive the intense gravitational forces and scorching heat of a close encounter with the Sun, it needs to remain intact. But Atlas is showing all the signs of a comet that is slowly crumbling. This process of disintegration is fascinating and terrifying at the same time. As the comet's nucleus begins to fracture, it releases dust and debris into space, but not in the dramatic, dazzling way many had hoped. Instead, Atlas is gradually losing its structure, becoming less like a solid object and more like a cloud of debris. This isn't the first time we've seen a comet disintegrate like this. The Kreutz family of comets, to which Atlas belongs, is notorious for producing fragments that get too close to the Sun and are torn apart. In some cases, all that remains is a long, faint tail, no head, no nucleus, just a trail of dust stretching across the sky. It's possible that Atlas could end up as a headless comet, much like the Great Southern Comet of 1887 or Comet Lovejoy in 2011, which both left only faint traces behind. If Atlas is indeed disintegrating, its fate will likely be sealed when it reaches its closest point to the Sun on October 28. At that moment, it will be subjected to extreme conditions, temperatures of over 1,000,000 degrees and gravitational forces that could completely tear it apart. If it survives, it could emerge from the other side of the Sun with a dramatic tail. But if not, we may be left with nothing but a fleeting, ghostly remnant in the sky. As we approach this critical moment, the excitement builds. Could Atlas surprise us all with a last-minute burst of brightness? Or will it vanish into the Sun's glare, another sun-grazing comet lost to the immense power of our star? The clock is ticking. Throughout history, comets have captivated humanity, inspiring awe, fear, and endless curiosity. But few phenomena are as intriguing as the headless comets, those mysterious celestial objects that lose their brilliant cores, leaving only ghostly tails behind. And now, as Comet Atlas appears to be following this same eerie path, it's worth exploring the fascinating legacy of these strange comets. The concept of a headless comet might seem unusual, but it's a rare and well-documented occurrence. When a comet's nucleus, the solid, icy heart, breaks apart near the Sun, what remains can sometimes be just the tail, a fading stretch of dust and gas left drifting in space. This has happened before, often with Croid sungrazers like Atlas, which are particularly prone to disintegration due to their extremely close encounters with the Sun. Take, for example, the Great Southern Comet of 1887. This comet appeared in the sky seemingly without a head, just a long, faint tail stretching across the horizon. Observers at the time were puzzled, unsure of what they were witnessing. How could a comet exist without its defining feature, the glowing coma at its front? It was only later that astronomers realized the comet had likely lost its nucleus during its approach to the Sun, leaving behind the headless wonder that became a strange footnote in astronomical history. More recently, in 2011, Comet Lovejoy, another Croid sungrazer, met a similar fate. Lovejoy dazzled astronomers as it plunged toward the Sun, but shortly before Christmas, the comet began to break apart. What remained was a brilliant, disembodied tail, visible from Earth and even the International Space Station. The head of the comet had been consumed by the Sun's intense heat, but the tail lingered, creating a haunting, otherworldly spectacle. Now, Atlas seems to be echoing these stories from the past. Astronomers have already observed its slow fragmentation, with its core likely crumbling into smaller pieces. But even if the comet's nucleus is destroyed, there's still a chance that a fragment of Atlas could survive long enough to leave behind a ghostly trail, what might become its final performance in the sky. These headless comets are reminders of how unpredictable and fragile these icy travelers from the outer solar system truly are. One moment they're racing toward the Sun, building anticipation for a breathtaking show, and the next, they disintegrate, leaving behind only a trace of their existence. For Atlas, it's unclear whether it will even leave a visible tail in the sky after October 28, but if it does, it could create an eerie spectacle, a faint, glowing streak that calls to mind the mysterious headless horseman from folklore. The allure of these headless comets goes beyond their unusual appearance. They represent the powerful forces at play in our solar system and how even these ancient objects, formed billions of years ago in the icy outer reaches, are no match for the Sun's immense gravitational pull and searing heat. Comet Atlas, like the comets before it, may end up as another casualty in this cosmic dance, another headless wanderer whose time has come to an end. But that's part of what makes these events so exciting. The unpredictability, the mystery, and the fleeting nature of comets like Atlas remind us that we're watching something extraordinary unfold, something that may never happen again in exactly the same way. And whether it leaves behind a tail or vanishes entirely, Atlas will have played its part in the long, captivating history of headless comets. As Comet Atlas nears its dramatic encounter with the Sun, the question of whether it will leave behind a final glimpse of its fading existence lingers. Even if it disintegrates completely, the legacy of comets like Atlas, those that challenge our expectations and vanish in the face of cosmic forces, remains deeply fascinating. this moment, where a comet is on the verge of being torn apart by the sun's intense gravity and heat, is a powerful reminder of how small and fragile these ancient objects are in comparison to the vast forces that shape our solar system. For skywatchers, the days leading up to and following October 28th could still offer a chance to see a glimpse of Atlas, even if it is just a faint, headless trail. The Solar and Heliospheric Observatory, SOHO, will be monitoring the Sun and could capture the comet's last moments in real time, offering us a rare chance to witness this cosmic event. If Atlas does survive its close brush with the Sun, however briefly, it may emerge with a glowing tail that could be visible in the early morning sky in the days around Halloween. This kind of spectacle, where a comet disintegrates and leaves behind nothing but a faint glow, challenges us to rethink what we expect from the cosmos. While we often look to the sky for dazzling, dramatic displays, sometimes the most remarkable events are those that unfold quietly, reminding us of the delicate balance between survival and destruction that comets face as they journey through the solar system. Even a disappointing comet like Atlas, which fails to produce a brilliant show, can offer us insights into the forces at play in space and the unpredictable nature of celestial objects. But what comes after Atlas? The next great comet could be right around the corner, and its journey might not end in disintegration. Future comets may light up our skies with breathtaking tails that stretch for millions of miles, or they may fade into obscurity like Atlas. The only way to find out is to keep looking up, to continue tracking these icy travelers as they make their brief but unforgettable journeys near the Sun. The mystery of comets like Atlas reminds us that the universe is full of surprises, some spectacular, others subtle, but all equally profound. So why not take a moment to reconnect with the night sky? With a good pair of binoculars or a telescope, you could witness the next great cosmic event, or maybe catch a glimpse of the fading remnants of Atlas as it makes its final bow. The universe is always moving, always changing, and it's up to us to look up and witness the wonders it has to offer.